It is no coincidence, is it, that Elijah Cummings shared a name with an Old Testament prophet, whose name meant in Hebrew, "The Lord is my God," and who used the power and the wisdom that God gave him to uphold the moral law that all people are subject to, and because of all people are equal. Like the prophet, our Elijah could call down fire from heaven, but he also prayed and worked for healing. He weathered storms and earthquakes, but never lost his faith. Like that Old Testament prophet, he stood against corrupt leadership of King Ahab and Queen Jezebel.
And I was thinking I'd want my daughters to know how much I love them, but I'd also want them to know that being a strong man includes being kind. That there's nothing weak about kindness and compassion. There's nothing weak about looking out for others. There's nothing weak about being honorable. You're not a sucker to have integrity and to treat others with respect.
Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying that Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama meant to intentionally humiliate Trump at Elijah Cummings' funeral services, but the fact that it definitely seems like they did says a lot about Donald Trump. I mean, think about it. Without even mentioning Trump's name, without alluding to him at all Clinton and Obama had to say was that Cummings stood against corrupt leadership and that being a strong man means being kind and compassionate. For that to seem like a jab at Donald Trump reflects really, really poorly on Donald Trump. And by the way, this isn't the first time that praising universal truths and defending basic democratic principles has been seen as an attack against Trump. On the 4th of July in 2017, PBS took to Twitter to tweet out verse by verse the Declaration of Independence. And Trump fans, not realizing what it was, took that as a direct affront against the president. The Declaration of Independence. If you perceive the words of our founding documents as an attack against your politician, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that your politician might not be the best person to rally behind. But in stark contrast to Trump, against whom words like compassion and kindness seem like an attack, is Elijah Cummings, who is the embodiment of the ideals that our country stands for, or at least stood for in the days before Trump. And it was Trump's very policies that made Cummings' voice so important. The House Oversight Chairman was a staunch defender of the very people whom Trump so easily attacked, from the people of Maryland's 7th Congressional District to the children locked in cages on the southern border. And unsurprisingly, Trump responded to Cummings by lashing out, suggesting he should investigate himself, that he'd done a poor job representing his district, and that he was a bully. If you're sensing projection, then congratulations, you have a pulse. But it was Barack Obama who recalled Cummings' booming voice, which was dedicated to speaking out for those who had no voice at all. And it was when he was speaking on behalf of others that he was at his best.
You feel like you're doing a great job, right? Is it what you're saying?
We're doing our level best in a very
What does that mean? What does that mean when a child is sitting in their own feces, can't take a shower? Come on, man. What's that about? None of us would have our children in that position. They are human beings. When we're dancing with the angels, the question will be asked, in 2019, what did we do to make sure we kept our democracy intact? Did we stand on the sidelines and say nothing? Did we play games? And I'm tired of these statements saying, people come in here and say, oh, this is the first hearing. It is not the first hearing. The first hearing was with regard to prescription drugs. Remember, a little girl, a lady sat there, Miss Wortham, her daughter died because she could not get $333 a month in insulin. That was our first hearing. Second hearing, H.R. 1, voting rights, corruption in government. Come on now. We can do more than one thing. And we have got to get back to normal.
So while Representative Cummings is gone, what he left behind is a legacy of a man who didn't see kindness and compassion as signs of weakness, a man who stood against corruption. And it just so happens that not everyone is lucky enough to share that same legacy.